Okay, so today we are moving on to section 10.3, which is our operations with radical expressions. So the first thing we need to know are what like radicals and unlike radicals are. So like radicals are radical expressions that have the same radicand. So that have the same radicand. So that means that the number under the radical sign is the same, okay? And knowing that, then the unlike radicals are just radical expressions that do not have the same radicands. Okay, so the square root of 2 and the square root of 3 are not like radicals because the number under the square root sign is different. Okay, so when we have like radicals, the biggest thing to remember is that when we're adding, just like if we're adding variables, so if we had 2x plus 3x, we're not changing the form of the variable, but we are changing the coefficient on the variable. Okay, so it's the same thing here. We are going to add our coefficients on the outside, but the radicals themselves will stay the same. So here we are going to do 6 square root of 11 plus 9 square root of 11. When we do that, that just gives us 15 on the outside, and the square root of 11 stays the same on the inside. So that's going to be our answer. We're just adding them together. Over here, we've got the square root of 3 minus 5 square roots of 3. If there is no coefficient on the outside, the coefficient is just 1. So we're going to do 1 minus 5, which is going to be negative 4. And then that square root of 3 stays the same. Okay. So go ahead and work on the got it problem. If we do 7 minus 8, that gives us negative 1 square roots of 2. Or you can just have it as negative square roots of 2. Either one works. Okay. And if we have 5 square roots of 5 plus 2 square roots of 5, that's going to give us 7 square roots of 5. So this is an either or situation over here. Okay. Moving on. For this one, we are going to simplify. So we know that we have the square root of 3 over here. We're going to simplify this square roots of 12 as far as it can go. So remember, if we go through, we've got 2 and 6 and 2 and 3. So if we take that 2 out, that leaves us with 5 square roots of 3 minus 2 square roots of 3. And when we do that, that gives us 3 square roots of 3 in the end. Okay, so we are just finding the radical that's bigger and simplifying it down as far as it can go. Okay, so you can work on these got it problems. So here we're going to simplify this 28. So it gives us 2 and 14, 2 and 7. So we're going to take a 2 out. So we're going to have 4 square roots of 7 plus 2 square roots of 7. That leaves us with 6 square roots of 7. Okay, and over here, both of these need to be simplified. So we've got 32 gives us 2 and 16 and 4 and 4. So we're going to have 5 times 4 square roots of 2. And we've got 18, so that gives us 2 and 9 and 3 and 3. So that gives us minus, I'll move this down just a little bit. Move this down, so we've got 5 times 4 square roots of 2. We've got minus 4 times 3 square roots of 2. That's going to be, okay, so we've got 20 square roots of 2 minus 12 square roots of 2, which leaves us with just 8 square roots of 2 because we're only worried about these coefficients on the outside. Okay, when we are multiplying radical expressions, just like last class, when we multiply, we are multiplying what's on the inside of the radicals together, what's on the outside of the radicals together. So if we multiply the square root of 6 times the square root of 10, that's going to give us the square root of 60. Then from there we have plus 10 times, or the square root of 10 times 3 just gives us 3 square roots of 10. So from here, we are going to simplify this as much as possible. We can't simplify this 10 over here because that just leaves us with 5 and 2. But we can simplify this 60. So if we do 60, we've got 2 and 30. We've got 2 and 15. And 3 and 5. So we can take a 2 out, which leaves us with 15 on the inside, plus 3 square roots of 10. Obviously, these can't be added together, so this is our final answer. Because these are unlike radicals, we cannot combine them. Okay, and over here we are going to do our FOIL method. Everyone loves FOIL. So we're going to have this square root of 6 times the square root of 6 plus the square root of 6 times the square root of 3 plus negative 2 square roots of 3 times the square root of 6 plus negative 2 square roots of 3 times the square root of 3. So when we do each of these, if we do the square root of 6 times the square root of 6, that gives us the square root of 36 plus the square root of 6 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 18 minus 2 square roots of 3 times 6 gives us 2 square roots of 18. And we have minus 2 square roots of 3 times the square root of 3 gives us 2 square roots of 9. So we are going to simplify this as much as possible. The square root of 36 is just 6. We have plus, we actually do not have plus. If we combine these two together, we've got positive 1 minus 2, that gives us minus the square root of 18. And then we have minus 2 times the square root of 9, which is 3. So we've got 6 minus the square root of 18 minus 6. So 6 minus 6 just cancels it out, and we are left with negative the square root of 18. Okay, go ahead and try the got it problems. So we're going to have the square root of 12 plus 5 square roots of 2. If we do this, if we factor our 12 out, gives us 2 square roots of 3 plus 5 square roots of 2. On this next one, if we are squaring these, we're going to have the square root of 11 minus 2 times the square root of 11 minus 2, which means we're going to have to use our FOIL method. So we are going to have the square root of 11 times the square root of 11 plus negative 2 times the square root of 11 plus negative 2 times square root of 11 plus negative 2 times negative 2. So that gives us the square root of 121 minus 2 square roots of 11 minus 2 square roots of 11 minus 4. So the square root of 121 is just 11 minus negative 2 minus 2 gives us negative 4 square roots of 11 and minus 4. If you do 11 minus 4, that leaves us with 7. Nope, I lied. If we do negative 2 times negative 2, that gives us a positive 4. Positive 4. So if we do 11 plus 4, that gives us 15 minus the 4 square roots of 11. Okay, and our last one we've got square root of 6 times 4 square roots of 3 plus square root of 6 times 3 square roots of 6 plus negative 2 square roots of 3 times 4 square roots of 3 plus negative 2 square roots of 3 times 3 square roots of 6. So that gives us 4 square roots of 18 plus 3 square roots of 36 minus 8 square roots of 9 minus 6 square roots of 18. So right now we have negative 2 square roots of 18 plus 3 times 6 minus 8 times 3. So we have negative 2 square roots of 18 plus 18 minus 24. And if we go through our 18, that gives us 2 and 9 and 3 and 3. So we've got negative 6 square roots of 2 minus 6 should be our answer. Okay.